right, week 12 of the NFL season. Here we go. My top 5 teams, top 5 power ranking teams of the NFL, week 12. Here we go. Start off with number 5. We go to the New England Patriots, who are 9-2. They're tied for the lead in the AFC right now. Well, actually, the best record in the league. But 9-2 with the Denver Broncos. But I am looking at their wins. I do my power rankings depending on who they beat, who the team beat, and who they lost to, right? So looking at the wins, let's look at the Patriots wins. They beat the Falcons, they beat the Jets, they beat the Browns, they beat the Panthers, the Bills, the Saints, the Titans, and the Buccaneers, right? Out of that list, you could argue that their most impressive win is the Bills, and then the Buccaneers is like a second impressive win. Sometimes I don't really count the divisional games just because it's like they can go either way. The Bills are still a good team. I think the Patriots still got to play them later on in the season, so we better see that one more time. But their losses, let's look at the losses. They lost to the Steelers, which is that's a good loss. Then they lost to the Raiders. I don't understand. The Raiders, I mean, everybody can have a fluke game, but I feel like if you're supposed to be like this powerhouse that everybody thinks that you are, then the Raiders loss is a bad one. So starting off at number 5, the Patriots at number 5. I just think that one of the hardest tests is going to come in the playoffs. That's when you actually get to see like the true Patriots. I'm not saying that they're a bad team; they're a really good team, but they're my number 5 team for this week of the NFL. Going to number 4, we got the Indianapolis Colts. They are 8-2. They was on the bye this week, so they did drop 1 spot. So yeah, let's look into it. Well, they actually dropped 2 spots. They was number 2 last week, and I moved them down to number 4. The same thing with the Colts. They beat the Dolphins, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Titans twice, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Falcons, right? Out of that list, you could say that the Broncos, who are 9-2, that's a good win. The Chargers, who are 7-3, that's a good win. And the other 2 teams are the Falcons, that's an okay win, and the Cardinals, that's a trash win. But the losses, they came against some really good teams. The Rams, who are 8-2, and then also the Steelers, that's a good loss too. Not saying it's a good loss, but it's a team that's formidable. So I just think that their losses are better than the Patriots. That's the reason why they're number 4, and the Patriots are number 5. The Colts, number 14. Number 3, we're going to go to the Denver Broncos. They're coming off an impressive win against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was at home in Denver, so they are 9-2, tied with the best record in the league, 9-2. Just looking at the wins, the wins for the Broncos are pretty impressive. They got the Chiefs, they got the Raiders, the Texans, the Cowboys, that's a good one. The Giants, the Jets, the Eagles, another good win. The Bengals, and then the Titans. So they beat both of the Super Bowl champion teams that was in the championship game last year. The losses, they got some good losses. They lost to the Colts, who are 8-2. They lost to the Chargers, who are 7-3. That's a divisional win. Once again, they go either way. So I think that's like I don't want to say a throwaway, but it is kind of like a throwaway. The Broncos looking pretty good. They win the games in the last minute. They win the games with their defense. The offense ain't really looking too good, but their defense is like legit. They was missing Patrick Surtain this past week, and they still managed to beat the Chiefs. So the Broncos are legit. I would say they're the 3rd best team in the league. Number 2, we got the Los Angeles Rams. They're 8-2. Once again, looking at the wins, they beat the Texans, the Titans, the Colts, the Ravens, the Jags, the Saints, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. They got some good wins. They beat the Colts, they beat the Ravens, even though they wasn't really who they are now. They beat the Seahawks just now this past week. They beat the 49ers. Once again, the Seahawks and the 49ers are in the division, but they're still really good teams, so they beat them teams. They beat the Colts, who are the good team. Now, they lost to the Eagles, Super Bowl champions, and they lost to the 49ers, who are also in the division. So the Rams, they're legit. They got the MVP, I think, right now of the league, Matthew Stafford. So the Rams are my number 2 team. Number 1 team, still number 1 from last week, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Once again, they just finding ways to win football games. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it again. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles fans, whoever's complaining about the way that you're winning football games is like ridiculous. I think that any team in the league would be grateful to be winning the games that you guys are winning. People saying that you can't keep on throwing this when you got to face good teams in the playoffs. Y'all beat all the good teams already. Like, all the teams already be beaten. So just think about that. Look at the wins that you guys have against the Vikings, the Buccaneers, the Rams, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Packers, and the Giants. That's every team in the NFC that people thought was good this year. Y'all beat every single one. The Lions, the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Rams, and the other team that y'all played in the Super Bowl last year was the Chiefs. So stop complaining. I want to hear no more complaints about any Philadelphia sports fan talking about how bad or how good the Eagles is this year. Y'all winning games against every team in the league. So I'll just say that the Eagles are the best team in the league right now, and don't complain. Their wins speak for itself. The loss, okay, you lost to the Giants. That's a bad loss. But the other loss is to the Broncos. They're 9-2. And it came at a last minute kind of thing. They had to come back in order to do it. So the Eagles are legit. They look like they're on their way back again to the Super Bowl again this year. But that's my top 5 in the league for week 12. We got the Patriots. We got the Colts at number 4. We got the Broncos number 3, the Rams number 2, and the Eagles number 1.